sharing how I started from 1 investment property to 9 as a 33-year-old. This is property number 6. This is my first overseas property bought in 2022 with 2 other friends. We bought it at 605k, now worth about 650k. So why this time of overseas property, you may ask? In 2022, me and my wife already own 5 properties. 2 of them are residential here in Singapore, and we will not want to buy more residential to incur ABSD. At the same time, industrial properties opportunities were getting more and more limited. So thankfully, someone introduced me the idea of investing in the UK. And then why in the UK? Well, there are many places where you can invest in, but for me, I want to invest in a place where it's safe, protected and regulated. And thankfully in the UK, they have similar property laws as with Singapore. And looking for the right property in UK wasn't difficult because I have the connections. So at the time, there was a new launch project in Manchester called 360. So I actually entered as a third phase buyer, meaning I did not buy it as cheap as the first phase buyers. But there's one thing that I learned from my previous investments, that is, it is very easy, right, to get jealous or envious of those people who bought cheaper, but don't focus on this imaginary loss compared to them because you can't turn back time. Instead, focus on your future potential gains that you can possibly make. And so there are many reasons that make this a good property. Number 1, it's actually located in Manchester. It's the 3rd largest city in UK and it's growing rapidly. So we can expect good long-term gains and good rental of about $2,900. And number 2, the condos beside 360 have already made good profits and are getting higher than projected rentals. And number 3, interestingly, is the Ukraine war. Now the Ukraine war has made construction costs even higher, so future properties are going to sell more expensive and that gives me room to increase in value. So it only has been 1 year and still under construction, but we are already making gains, so I'm confident of its future potential. So for anyone looking to get started with overseas, my recommendation is make sure you have Singapore residential first, then look into overseas. Okay, as always, if you have any questions, leave them in a comment. I'll be happy to share more and stay tuned for property number 7.